So my first role was in a company called Mitel Corporation, and I know this because I was in human resources at the time, and particularly focused in recruiting. I was employee number 146, and we grew to almost 5,000 people in a period of about 6 or 7 years. And I took on various roles in recruiting back then, everything from on-campus recruiting, the executive side eventually. And I got a real sense of how critically important it was to get the right people in the right jobs. That was early on, but then a few more years in a corporate setting, and then an opportunity to get in an early stage company and really move right out of the HR realm and into sales and marketing. And I jumped at it. And I've never left that environment of early stage excitement. Figure out as you go, try to get the right people in the right jobs and get a successful company moving and growing. I did a couple of different ventures that way. One was in a digital video company called DVS Communications, and we eventually were able to grow that large enough for someone else to look at it, and it was bought by a larger company. And then I got into the venture capital business, where I worked with a company spun out of a company called Nortel Networks at the time. Many people would still know of Nortel back in the day, a very large tech success story in Canada. But we raised, as you were mentioning, north of $12-14 million US. Grew that company to over 100 people. And there is where I've got my first taste of, the executive side, the traditional recruiting support. As a VP of sales and marketing, I had to build out a sales organization. I had no idea how to do it. And it just got very challenging to kind of find people that understood our story. And NetActive was a company that delivered content on CD and locked that content for distribution. So the story wasn't an easy one to tell, and I found out that most recruiters didn't understand what we were doing, didn't understand the value that we brought, didn't understand the culture that I wanted. And so although I may find some people that were good as I built out the organization, they really didn't get it. They didn't respond correctly to the culture that we wanted to build, and that was a continued struggle throughout the growth. That company ended up going bankrupt. Prior to, we were poised to go public, and we had done the right things to do that. And then 9/11 happened, and
that's NetActive, right? That's NetActive.
NetActive, yeah. There's lots of positive and lots of fun that comes from that memory. And then there's, of course, the tragedy of 9/11 and us not going public. That, a lot of people worked very hard to get it to poise to that happening. And we had competitors who were trading 400, 500 times earnings at the time. We would have been one of those, but timing didn't happen. Anyway, at the end of the day, it taught me a lot of things about how to grow, what not to do, and the frustrations behind trying to find the right people to help you get to where you need to go. So after that, I had an opportunity to work in the executive search business, and I did that for a little over 23 years. But even then, when I launched that, I was surrounded by a number of what I would have called traditional executive search, where they would hide the database, only provide the right certain people to the customer. They were charging like 30% of a starting salary. I changed that and went to a fixed price fee. And I tried to do my best to basically understand the value that my customer wanted to portray, understand the culture. And I focused a lot on fit as much as I did on, the requirements of the role. And I think that paved the way for me to be very successful in that career. But so that brings me up to today. And I learned from the Mitel experience of high growth. I learned from the NetActive experience of trying to find talent. I learned from executive search business of trying to figure out the value and the culture before I put candidates forward. And today I founded Pivot and Edge to kind of take us to another level and try to figure out a better way to solve recruiting problems for customers. So there's my story.